Hello, I believe it is July the 26th today. I couldn't swear to it. When you are partially retired, you don't care that much about what day of the week it is because normally you don't have to get up and rush off to an assignment. So today is going to be a ramble about bugs I have known, or maybe not known very well, maybe bugs I have squashed. But we are killing off a whole lot of the really beautiful creatures on our planet, the elephants for their tusks, the lions for trophies, the manatees. We are slicing them up with our little speedboats, cutting their backs open, taking away their habitats. But the one thing that we are not conquering or killing off or decimating is bugs. They are in huge quantities. There are more of them than there are of us. And it is said that they will inherit the earth one day. And it would not surprise me if that were in fact the case. So I have not had a really good relationship with bugs. Some people find them fascinating. My twin flame person said she had created a masterful bug collection when she was, I guess, a teenager in Texas. For me, the relationship with bugs started, I think, when I was 9. I was home and I was watching this mini drama unfolding on the corner of a windowsill in Canada where I lived. A fly had become caught in a web, and the spider was on its way down to deal it a death blow, I guess, or a death sting or something like that. And I was going to save the fly. I mean, I was not really partial to flies either. I don't think I liked flies any better than I liked spiders at that time. But I was going to go and save this fly because I thought, oh my God, getting stung and eaten by a spider has to be the worst possible death. So I went and I got a toothpick and I started to pry the fly out of the web. And in doing that, I managed to detach 2 of its legs. And flies don't have that many legs. So I learned at the age of 9, you should not play God. It's not cool. And so I disabled the fly, basically. I disabled the fly and I took away the spider's meal. And so I didn't do anybody any good. And so I stopped trying to play God with insects. Then when I was 12, I was combing my hair out one morning and a spider came out of my hair, plopped onto the high dresser in front of me, and it completely freaked me out. I got away from the spider, ran through the kitchen, out of the bedroom where I was, through the kitchen into my parents' bedroom. They were not home, and I sat and cowered on my father's bed. And damned if this spider hadn't followed me through the apartment and appeared under the door. It came under the door, and I guess I don't know whether it had made a happy home or a nest or had gotten rid of its offspring during the night in my hair. I don't know what, but this spider was coming after me. And so I got one of my father's shoes and I flung it at this spider as hard as I could, squashed it dead, and that was the end of that spider. Then there were weird episodes in my 30s. I remember I had gotten a little bit better about killing things, and this water bug, I was like half asleep one night going for a glass of water, and this water bug crossed my path in the middle of the night in the kitchen. And instead of squashing it, I took a glass and I put the glass over it. I thought, I will deal with you in the morning. I'm too tired to figure out what to do with a water bug in the middle of the night. And so the poor bug, it sat there under the glass all night long. And in the morning, I was good to my word. I decided I would just fling it outside. What I didn't realize, it had rained all night. And so when I flung it outside, I flung it down the steps and it landed in a big puddle of water at the bottom of the steps. And they're called water bugs. So I'm assuming the bug knew how to swim and get to dry ground. That was another event with bugs. Then there was my living in the Ortiz Mountains. I lived someplace which had a passage for tarantulas going past. On my land, I had 16 acres, and apparently it was part of the annual migration route for tarantulas. And one day I looked up at my ceiling in my casita, and there was this tarantula hanging off the ceiling. And I had gotten better. I was increasingly getting better about not immediately panicking and wanting to kill a spider the moment I saw one. And so I got a bowl and a spatula, and I put the bowl underneath, and then the spatula flicked the tarantula into the bowl, and then I kept twirling this bowl as I walked it out the door and set the tarantula free. And I was feeling really good about myself, that I was no longer reacting with such panic and fear. I have also been stung 3 times on 3 separate occasions by brown recluse spiders. Once in this place here, this current condo, 2 times in Santa Fe, in my beautiful house on Guadalupe. It was a haven for spiders because it had these beams on the ceiling, dark wood, and so they blended in really nicely. You couldn't see them. I was not about to vacuum clean the ceiling every month, and so I had brown recluse spiders in that house, and they got me in soft tissue each time, which is really good. I mean, if one had walked into my mouth at night, I mean, that could have been fatal. But what they do is when they sting you, it creates a welt like about a silver dollar size, and it gets really dark purple. It's a lot of really horrible, nasty pus from the bite. It's supposed to create necrotic tissue, but in my case, it hasn't. I would squeeze that purple area until I got all the pus out, and in the fullness of time, usually a few months, the thing would resolve itself. When I bought this place was a real horrible dump. When I bought it, some crazy person had been living here. He completely trashed this unit, and I could replace and clean up and fix the holes in the walls. But it also came with roaches, living and dead, and they have just not been a favorite part of my life. And so, being a Sethi, that's an adherent of the Seth, S-E-T-H teachings, I know that the way you get rid of something that you don't want is you stop thinking about it. And that's really difficult if something is in your house that you really don't want, for you to stop thinking about it. But I did. I followed the Seth teachings. And it took about, I'm going to say, a good half year until I no longer saw any roaches in my condo. And in the almost 3 years I have lived here now, since that time, I think I've seen maybe 3 or 4 more. The complex is sprayed with some kind of a poison, which kills them, or probably makes them stronger, but doesn't kill them. And so a few of them straggle through the doors every now and then, but I no longer live with roaches. And so my most recent relationship with critters, insects, has been microscopic ants. These are called sugar ants. And they are so tiny, they manage to get through the lid, the closed lid of my sugar bowl in my kitchen. And once I infiltrate the sugar, I mean, you practically have to throw the sugar away because they really do a number on it. And so I have been looking at this. And in the beginning, I put down some of this ant poison, which they're supposed to take back to their nests and then kill the colony. And I probably killed a bunch of ants doing that. And then I thought, I should go back to my doing what Seth says. You don't pay attention to them. And so the only time that I've been paying attention to these microscopic ants is when they climb up on me. And what I've been doing, I've been wetting my finger, and then I've been getting the ant and then walking it out the door. And as I'm walking it out the door, I'm talking to it like, I really don't want you in my casita, in my condo. I am not a friend of ants. You should not be here. I would encourage you to tell all of your buddies, do not come here. This is not a good place for you. You may end up quite dead. So I take it outside, and then I let it loose on the little stoop outside my door to live and tell its fellows not to come in. And that is um, my most of my insect stories. I can get into further details with them, but I figure that's enough thrills and chills for one day. Wishing you all a great last week in July. The time is flying as it always does. Life is just zipping past. And I'm still waiting for Mr. Trump to remove himself from the White House or be removed from the White House. I had anticipated he would be gone by September, and we're getting closer. He's still there. So maybe my my oracle powers are not as great as they once were a couple of thousand years ago. Um, but we will see. All right. Have a great week. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Gives you lots of leeway. Ciao.